Bipolar rollers. So I had a few moments. I thought I'd make this video because, well, it just occurred to me. The idea occurred to me while I was engaging in yet another ridiculous debate or argument online about politics. God, don't get sucked into those. Man, there's some people out there who just, I mean, they're just not going to change their mind, no matter what you bring to the table, no matter what facts you bring. It's just politics is so divisive, boy. But I've noticed something, and I know you've noticed it too. You must have been told this by people that you hang with or your family. Why the hell are we so combative? Like, what is it about bipolar that just we're just, and I'm not just talking about the irritability, because I know that comes with bipolar if you're not managing it well. Even if you are, there is going to be days when you're just irritable for no reason. Everything seems to get to you. But why the hell are we so combative? Like, I know for myself, and let me know if you can relate to this, but I don't take crap from anyone. Like, anyone. It's always been a problem. I know when I was younger, I would fight anyone. It didn't matter. The bigger they were, the more I'd bring to the table. It was just like a, it was like a challenge, that I always accepted. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I mean, now I know I have bipolar. Before, I know, those who know me might know, like, I did have a head injury at one point. I know that causes problems with my adrenal flow. So there's, I've got a combination of issues. I know bipolar is only one of them, but so far, and for those of you asking, it's been several months without medication. I'm doing quite well. So all the things that I listed in my other previous videos that you might want to check out, they are really working for me. So, and there are going to be tough days, but so far so good. But one thing that's always bugged me is the goddamn combative nature of bipolar disorder. If we think we're right, we just don't want to give up. In a discussion, debate, whatever you may have it, it's been an issue for a while. And when I was younger, I got into a lot of fights, and if you get into enough fights, you're bound to lose a few. I mean, hello officers, especially if you're outnumbered. But that's a topic of a different video that I'm probably never going to make for obvious reasons. So, but why do we do that? I mean, why do we do that? I know I was lucky enough to have a shaman when I was first got into the music business. I had a real issue with stage fright. I used to just freeze right up on stage. So by chance, I ran into a shaman, Marwan, rest in peace. He taught me how to channel all that anger, that irritability, that lack of fear, because that's one thing I kind of lost. Channel it into a persona for the stage that was able to work for me, to conquer my stage fright. It seemed I could only perform if I was this guy Sid, right? So that. And that character didn't take shit from anybody, and it just bled into my personality. Eventually, kind of almost became me, and that's a whole different video also. But I know that there was a big chunk of bipolar in that character, in that stage persona of mine, and I know I can't be the only one. Some of your emails, I know that I'm not the only one who has an issue with letting things go. You just feel like you gotta win this argument. You gotta win the debate. You've gotta sway somebody to your side. I've been able to reel that guy in over the last couple of years because I know how destructive that can be. And you don't have to be right all the time. You really don't. But it feels like we do, doesn't it? How do you guys feel about that? I'd love to know what you guys do to deal with that. I know that I have a saying that I just came up with yesterday, patent pending, but and that saying is, don't let your conviction give you a conviction. I think it's pretty clever. I don't know. Maybe I might be wrong, but it makes sense to me. We can go a little overboard when trying to make our point, or just be overly aggressive, and I think that's because we're not exactly normal. I mean, we've got a different way of looking at things, and so when there's a topic or an issue at play, we're not going to come at it the same way that maybe somebody else. So a view that might be considered normal, we may not share that view, and we may try to convince someone otherwise, because our emotions, they run the gamut, and we have a different perspective, and sometimes we're pretty damn insistent on making people see that other perspective. It's just a theory. I don't know if that's correct or not, but I know that the more emotions you experience in your life, I'm sure that it changes your perspective. It changes the way you look at things. It changes the way you go about, I don't want to say necessarily an argument, but the way you express yourself. Maybe I'm pretty sure that irritability doesn't help when naturally most people get annoyed when someone doesn't agree with them, right? So, and if your irritability is heightened, you're probably not going to come across as the most balanced debater, right? But it's important that we take a step back and realize, hey, we have a condition that kind of messes with our emotions a little bit, and if you want to have a fair and balanced discussion on things, heightened emotions are not going to help. We've all been in discussions or arguments with people who are just really emotional, and you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that person, because then all of a sudden logic, reason, all of that stuff just goes flying out the window. Then we're just flying off emotions. I think that's part of the problem with politics these days, for Pete's sake. I mean, I'm not going to bash the left wing or anything, but I really think that a lot of them are flying off emotions and and good intentions, a balance of decency and equality and everything, but they're not. It's not really centered in fact, right? So, and I hate quoting people who are all wrapped up in the whole political thing, but Ben Shapiro said it best. Facts don't care about your feelings, and that should apply to your bipolar stuff too. Facts don't care about your feelings, and we are full of feelings. So try not to let them overwhelm you and cloud your judgment when having discussions with people. How do you calm yourself down so that you can actually sound rational and reasonable when disagreeing with somebody or trying to make a point? How do you do it? What methods do you use? I know that sometimes I have to hit the gym and just beat the crap out of a punching bag or something, or I'll dive heavily into the music, and make a really angry tune about it. It is one of my favorite ways to express myself. In fact, just about all of my songs are extremely autobiographical. So I think it's the healthiest way. When I was younger, it was, there was a lot of violence involved. And I guess a lot of that has to do with who you surround yourself with. Now that I've chosen a healthier lifestyle, and a healthier circle of friends, I don't find a real need for that anymore. I just think that it's just wiser to go at things intellectually rather than physically. And Captain Obvious. I know I should, of course it is, but I would love to know what kind of things you guys do to keep yourselves from being so combative. I have struggled with that for a long time in my life. And maybe if I had more fear of people, I find them annoying, but I don't fear anybody. And maybe it's healthy to have a little fear, so that you don't dive in mouth first. But I'm a mouthy mother, and sometimes it can be, it comes from, it's like if somebody says something that I don't agree with, it's, why do I feel obligated to set them straight? We're not the jackass whisperers. We're not we don't need to set things right in the world. maybe part of that is my empath side, where we're always trying to heal. But when you mix that with bipolar, and we go about trying to heal the wrong way, by trying to turn people around opinion wise, but being a little overly aggressive about it. So meditation really helps for that, by the way. It really helps calm you down, so you, even if you're not fully calm, you appear calm enough so that you don't rankle somebody to the point where they're not going to listen to you anyway, because they're getting off that they're getting that a really aggressive vibe from you. So even if you're right, you're not going to turn them around by being aggressive. You know, people get on edge when you do that. It doesn't help the conversation, doesn't help your point of view. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. I would love to know what methods or strategies you guys use to calm yourself down or be less argumentative with people, especially these days in this heavy political climate. I love you guys. The support is unreal. Again, I'm trying my best to keep up with all your emails. I may have to hire somebody to help me, because really it's just it can be a little overwhelming. But keep them coming, or leave your suggestions in the comments for ideas for videos. Always love your comments. I have some of the best bipolar rollers ever. And you know what a bipolar is. It's somebody who refuses to accept their condition as a life sentence, that you are doing something about it and you are conquering the illness every day. Be better than the person you were yesterday. We can beat this thing. All right? Love you guys. Bipolar rollers represent.